What's going on, guys? It's your boy Pokeconomist back again. Today I just wanted to take a couple minutes and talk a little bit about the Pokemon Van Gogh collaboration, which released last week, at the end of last week there. And all the time I've been collecting Pokemon cards, and all the time, I've tried to get concert tickets or, any sort of in-demand item. This was easily one of the, if not the worst experience I've ever had trying to get a product on release. There was quite a few issues with it, and I just kind of want to speak a little bit about that today. If this was something that you were trying to get involved in, if you were trying to get hold of any of the Van Gogh products or the promo card, please let me know in the comments. It's obviously caught a lot of media attention, which is probably good for Pokemon in the long run, to be honest. But, there's lots of views, and I think people have some very strong opinions on it. And I just kind of want to share a couple of mine today as well. So first off, what I would like to say straight off the bat is, the sort of videos that emerged over the course of the opening day of, people going absolutely crazy for this merch and stuff like that in Van Gogh are, obviously very shocking. I do not encourage anyone to do anything like that for the sake of getting their hands on any sort of products, regardless of its value. It's pretty brutal, and I think a lot of people have kind of came out and obviously criticised that, which is fair enough. What I would also add, though, is that the day before the actual launch, a lot of influencers did get the opportunity to go and purchase the product, have a look around the museum from what it looks like, on a very sort of limited basis. So if you do see a lot of videos of people kind of casually looking about the museum and stuff like that, it looks quite, down to earth. It doesn't look anything like the videos that you've seen. That could well be, right now, where a lot of the products sold out, therefore the demand has dropped a little bit. But also on top of that, the museum was open a day before general release. So it's not like, all of a sudden a bad group of people have came in and just went absolutely crazy. From what it looks like, the first day of the general release, things went absolutely mental. People were going insane for any Pokemon items, and they just, obviously it got a bit too much. Not to say that that's, defending the people that acted like idiots, because in my opinion, they're still idiots. But at the same time, I do think that, we do have to differentiate, the peaceful pictures from the absolute crazy ones and go, okay, look, this is why this was peaceful, because it's not members of the public. It's people that, are creating content, therefore they've got a bit more freedom, a little more space. First of all, addressing the whole, Amsterdam Van Gogh Museum incident, I mean, it was nuts, right? Absolutely nuts. Let's be honest, this product was always, or any of these products, any of the Van Gogh products, the promo card, any of this stuff was always going to be highly sought after. That's pretty much common knowledge. Pokemon's obviously very mainstream at this point. It's out there, it's massive. You walk into most toy shops, apart from the Entertainer, you walk into most toy shops, you walk into a lot of supermarkets, you will see some sort of Pokemon product, whether it's a magazine, whether it's cards, figures, whatever. So, I don't really also accept, in my opinion, the argument of they weren't aware there wasn't going to be a demand. I don't actually agree with that, because obviously there's going to be a demand. First of all, it's Pokemon. Second of all, it's Van Gogh, which is, one of the, if not the most famous artists in the world. Van Gogh paintings go for millions upon millions of pounds, for an institution like the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam to do some sort of collab with Pokemon. Straight off the bat, you don't really have to be into Pokemon to know that that's probably going to be quite big, and it's going to be very popular. So it kind of brings on my first point, which is the whole sort of aspect of the items. You're only allowed so many items. I really can't understand, why it's limited to like 2 or 3 of each thing. Like, I get it from the perspective of, I would love to get one for my friends or family and bring one home, that's great and whatever. But so would everyone else that's waiting in line outside, so would all the other people that are queuing up, everyone else that's in the store, everyone else that's visiting the museum between now and January when the display's on for. Like, everyone's in the same boat. Some people will miss out, that's the nature of these things, because they're limited products, the demand is higher than what they've got available. So I don't really understand why things aren't just limited to one each. And that's not just for the Van Gogh Museum, I think that also applies to the Pokemon website incident, which we'll get to in a little bit. But straight off the bat, for me, first off, limit everything to one. Promo cards, obviously people were getting hands on loads and loads of promo cards. I don't know how they went about that. Something like they managed to get a hold of like a second book or something, then go back and get another promo card. That also has to be looked at, because people shouldn't really have been able to get their hands on more than one promo card, especially people that have got, 10, 15, 20 of these things, which is just absolute nuts. On the promo cards as well, I would like to mention very quick, you're probably seen, if you're interested in this card, if it's something you've looked to buy, you might well have seen values of $200, $300, pounds, euros floated around. That has come down quite significantly since these drops. Never buy something like that. The minute it is announced or straight off the bat, the value is always going to drop. Especially in this instance where it's a promo card that is now available to UK and US, or was for a little while, and they have mentioned they will also bring it back. So just don't put yourself in a position where you're spending exuberant amounts of money, especially if you can't afford to, for an item that they could well just decide they're going to print more of because it's that popular. In this case, that's what it's done. People that bought this card for $200, $300, pounds, or euros, we're going to have the exact same thing as people that buy the card for whatever the price is. I wouldn't be surprised if this hits 30 for a little while, at the very least, especially at the point where everyone's getting their deliveries from Pokemon Center, people that have ordered, and everyone's trying to get rid of the thing at the same time because everyone has the same bright idea. So I do think that the card will come down significantly lower than maybe it might stabilize at, especially in interim. If they make it available, which they've signified that they will as well, then you'll probably see an even greater price drop on that as well. So know for the future, this sort of thing happens again. Don't buy at the set price at the very start, because it's always going to come down from there. It always happens, and in this case it's came down incredibly significantly as well. Next, the sort of main point of this video that I'd kind of like to get onto is the drops on the Pokemon Center website. I can only speak of the UK drop. The US drop went shortly live before the UK drop. From what I hear, there was issues with that as well. I think there's a bit of a mix of both. People from the US trying to order from the UK ordering to US, all that sort of stuff as well. So that's, an additional element onto it. From the UK standpoint, there was a couple of things that didn't help. I think the fact that it was mentioned on socials that the drop would happen on the Thursday and it didn't. Straight away, you've got a lot of people waiting around the website, constantly refreshing the website, waiting for stuff to come up, and it doesn't appear. So I think straight off the bat, that doesn't help. Second of all, I think not having a definitive time or point that items were available also didn't help. If they came out and said, okay, 6 PM, everyone's going live, that's it is what it is, then everyone's kind of starting on the same boat. What they tried to do was basically a silent drop almost, where they just put it out at a random time. And what ended up happening is most of the products actually sold out before it was actually released. The now live Van Gogh banner in the Pokemon Center UK website was only up for best part of 15 minutes maybe. It wasn't up for long whatsoever because everything was sold out. And most of it was actually sold out before it went live. In saying all this, I was quite fortunate. I managed to get some orders in. Whether they come through or not, I'm not entirely certain, so I'm not going to get my hopes up too soon. Out of all the products that were available, I know people that managed to get sleeves, some people managed to get the deck boxes, some people managed to get the playmats, the figures as well, and also the canvases too. I do not know anyone, from sort of Discord servers or sort of community that I'm in, that got a Pokemon plush. I have seen a lot available on Facebook marketplaces, so how they managed to get them, I have no idea. I don't know anyone to hand that actually got their hands on the plush Pikachu, the Van Gogh collection. In my eyes, that's probably going to be why the rare products when all these things come out and then start to get resold in secondary market. Kind of go back to my earlier point, one of the things that really annoyed me, apart from the time frame and the fact that there was no real indication when this was going live, was also the fact that you got one promo per product. Speaking of someone that, managed to get a couple of products, or hopefully if they ever arrive, means a couple of promos, which is great for me, but at the same time I'm just sitting here thinking, well, what's the point in that? Like, surely it should be per order, and that way you're kind of spreading it out a little bit more. Everyone at least gets one. It goes back to what I said earlier about the whole Van Gogh museum thing. I don't like the concept of people going in and being able to pick up 2 or 3 or 4 things of each item. Regardless if they're giving it to their friends or family, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Something like this is limited, therefore I believe it should be limited. That's my opinion on this. If you disagree, please let me know, that's fine. Happy to hear all sides on this. So in this instance, the Pokemon Center UK website, I really can't see a reason why they would put one promo card per item as opposed to per person. Okay, the limited items you could get, but even then, like 2 packets of sleeves, you know? So I managed to order 2 packets of 1 design of sleeves, so that's 2 promo cards, which is just ridiculous, really. I really don't understand that. I think that was also a bad way to kind of go about it. Again, I do believe that they will have more promo cards available at some point, so hey, if you don't have one yet, don't worry. There's still opportunity to get one. Another aspect of this that I really, want to talk about here is the Van Gogh release that happened on the Saturday as well. So the Van Gogh Museum website, if you don't know, released some Pokemon products on the Saturday to just a handful of things, some notepads, pens, a couple of canvases, t-shirts. There was no TCG products, so there was no sleeves, there was no deck boxes, there was no mats, there was nothing like that. And all the time that I've been using the internet and all the time that I've been using various websites to buy products, the Van Gogh Museum has to be the worst, without exception, the worst website I have ever seen in my life. It was terrible, absolutely atrocious. It was actually to the point where whenever you could add items to your cart, if you could get it to work in the first place, it was just giving you random people's cart. At one point, I was trying to make made-to-order canvases from it, which are items that are still available on the website, so I wasn't really bothered about anything else. But even adding those to my cart, whenever I looked to my cart or went to check out, I was just given random stuff from some other person that I didn't ask for, which is ridiculous. And then what was even worse, whenever you went through to the checkout and you had to type in your address, it was bringing up information on other people's address that presumably were also trying to check out from a completely different place in the world. I had people from Asia's address in front of my eyes with, I suppose their name, their building, postcode, or however that works there. All this, personal information is appearing on the Van Gogh Museum website, a very highly thought of, institution. Their website was terrible. It was not designed to cope with the level of demand that was obviously they'd had with Pokemon, and I really can't understand that, especially after the following day where Pokemon website themselves had so many issues. And safe to say that by the looks of it, they're more capable of handling that much traffic, or more capable of handling the traffic. Surely someone must have thought this website cannot last. It cannot sustain the level of demand that will be, looked for on these products, especially after everyone sold it before it was actually sold the day before. So I actually had to tell people, avoid this website, because it's just unsafe. Like, it was completely unsafe. It has been reported, so someone has reported the website. They had the same issue as well, reported the website. All in all, not a great day for Pokemon, I don't think. Not a great day for Pokemon fans, or weekend for Pokemon fans. I don't like the way this was all done. I don't like the way that they went about it. I know a lot of people feel the same way. Very fortunate position. I have managed to order a few items, but to be honest, until they actually arrive and I'm sitting in front of them, I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. Look, you may have a completely different opinion of this drop. Maybe it was fantastic for you, you got everything you wanted. If you did, please let me know in the comments, let me know how it worked out for you. But from my perspective, in my eyes, this was an absolute shambles. And they've done things, not of this extent, but similar drops in the past, for high priced products, ultra premium collections, for example, and they managed it. It wasn't always clean, but they did manage it. So I don't understand what the exception was here. And I also don't think the statement afterwards helped either, because that didn't really give any information, also didn't apologise for all the issues people were having. If you disagree with my opinions, please let me know in the comments. YouTube is a great place, it allows people like myself who, I'm going to go work in about 2 hours, I'm just about to head downstairs and have some lunch. It allows people like me to share my opinions and views, and then hopefully 2 or 3 people, anywhere in the world might watch this and think, oh look, I agree with that opinion, or I disagree. So let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here very soon, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some Van Gogh products very soon. But for now, we just play the waiting game. Thanks very much, guys. See you soon.